much air I will need to breathe when your tide rushes over me. There's only one way. Shortfalls and little sins, close calls when no one wins. Stand tall but running thin, I'm wearing thin. Oh, why are we keeping score? 'Cause if you're not laughing, who is laughing now? I've been wondering if we start sinking, could we stand our ground?
My name is Kent Bateman, and I am the Communications Director for Midtown Fellowship, which is a local church in downtown Columbia. This particular job I've been doing for the past year to 2 years. I've only been on paid staff for the past year, but I kind of performed the same function in a little bit less capacity for several years preceding that. So it all depends on what you consider. Technically, I've been the Communications Director for a year to a year and a half. I think, especially when I first started, a lot of what I did, I mean, when I first started way back when, I actually started as just the designer. I didn't do all of communications, and so, especially in regards to design, I found myself a lot, you would just kind of try to imitate things that you saw that you liked. And if they were like there were some designers that I would follow online, and I would really just try to mimic a lot of what they did, or you just look at popular trends in design and you try to see if you could do those. And I think what that ended up doing a lot of times is we would have very strong concepts, but they didn't really help all that much to communicate what we had to communicate. And so I think just as over the past few years, what I've done is you kind of grow into your own style, and you grow into more and more creativity, but I think maybe even more importantly, you grow into getting better at communicating the actual message. So yeah, I mean, honestly, just from experience, as I mentioned earlier, like when you start off imitating other forms of design, then you start to learn your way around programs that way, but then a lot of it, just by trial and error, you learn new features of the program and stuff like that. And so I think a lot of my growing in expertise too has been kind of adapting to my audience more, and so knowing Midtown's audience. I think that has been a lot of me growing in expertise, and just in general being more efficient and more able to delegate more things, and I think a lot of it is being able to communicate the why behind the what.
And we don't care about the young folks talking about the young side, and we don't care about the old folks talking about the old style too, and we don't care about our own folks talking about our own stuff. All we care about is talking only me and you, and we don't care about the young folks talking about the young stuff, and we don't care about the old folks talking about the old style too, and we don't care about our own folks talking about our own stuff. All we care about is talking only me and you, talking only me and you.
I look for in a friend loyalty, someone I can trust, someone who will make me grow, not really someone who is exactly like me, because I like other people and learn about other people, and you know, friendship is something to look forward in, or look in a friend, someone who's going to treat you well, who's kind to you.
Do a lot of your friends have similar interests as you, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that mainly have, I like friends who have similar interests as me, but then I also really like trying to find people who might not have the same interests. I like to have a broad selection of my friends.
just remember my parents looking down, like my parents' generation looking down, or my parents per se, more than basing this on my family, looking down, like smoking and drinking. I feel like those are such moral issues to me. Okay.
I'd say I'm more liberal than my parents. Yeah.
Do you have any examples?
Well, I voted for Obama.
They didn't.
I'm different than my parents, but it's taken me a while to get to that point. And I think there's a difference between age, but also in myself, right? You're an individual. You have to make these choices for yourself. I don't really have any specific examples.
Describe yourself as more liberal or traditional?
Liberal.
Liberal. Is that something that has changed as you've gotten older?
Sure, absolutely. Just
Any
when you
particular?
get older, and after 33 years, I mean, you just learn different things.
You seem to be the same as your parents.
Well, they're slightly different, a little bit more open-minded, a little bit more liberal, yes.
What could you describe how they're a little bit more liberal, like in some examples of how?
Not so much based on religion, and just a little bit more open to different people from different lifestyles.
I would say, I mean, out of those answers, I would say probably traditional. Example, meaning like from my parents, like something that they did that I do? Or,
Sure.
I guess now that I have a daughter, just the upbringing, the way they brought me up, kind of passing that down to try to bring her up pretty much in the same way. I mean, I agree with a lot of things that they did as far as discipline and being loving parents. That's what I try to do with her. And yeah.
Growing up, it was always so important to be at church. That was more like a religious thing. As I've gotten older, those things haven't seemed as important as my own relationship. So I think I've matured as I've left.
They have changed, very much so. I'd say I'm not religious, but spiritual. I don't really believe in I don't like organized religions. They make me a little uncomfortable sometimes, but I definitely respect them. And it's not about the church, it's about the people within it. So that's more important to me.
And that's changed since you've gotten older, you start to realize that?
Definitely. It's taken a long time to gradually think about specific points in different doctrines, and eventually you realize, well, hey, a lot of these things I don't believe in anymore. Probably less of a Christian or whatever denomination you're talking about than I am not a Christian, or I am a Christian.
I wouldn't say they changed. I'd say they're the same as they are when I was younger. I think they may have went up and down through college and after college and stuff like that. But I definitely believe. Over the past couple of months, I've experienced a lot more just with one of our store managers. I managed a cafe, and then being able to work as a team with our management group and seeing different lifestyles. And when you get older and you start thinking about life and where you're heading, to be honest, at your age, it's just fun, you know. And then when you get to a point where you're like, all right, what's next? You have to make those decisions yourself as opposed to somebody pointing out, all right, go to college now, get out of college, get a job, get married, whatever, you know, sooner or later. You look for an absolution to what life is going to offer you. And, lately for me, it's been spiritual and finding meaning in church and the Bible. So.
Yes, changed.
Okay.
I think faith is good, organized religions. Bane of mankind. That's my opinion.
Grew up in a Christian home and parents are a follower of Jesus, and so am I. So,
Awesome.
yeah.